Started recording. Did not take the title card down. GG. There we go. Adversary. A wide open field. All right. You guys ready for hopefully 97 out of 97 achievements and pretty much every route there is now before the Pristine Cut comes out? All right.
You make your way up the short.
Shut up, Harry. And like I've said before, I will come back to slay the princess after a while. I am definitely kind of like I'm starting to get worn out on this. As much as I'm very much enjoying it, I'm just sort of like, oh. So I'll come back to it. I'll revisit it far later when everybody else has their Let's Plays up. To me, it's not about getting it out on time. So.
The interior of the cabin is...
We need to go in with the knife. Well deserved, do something else. Stick to my branding and play the first Norse-themed game in nearly 5 years. And then play Grandia 2. At least.
You take the blade from the table. The door to the basement...
Okay. We do talk to her on the way down.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
Tell her there's no way we're gonna kill her.
That giant knife...
Refuse to drop the knife.
You ignore the trembling and...
Pay the princess.
Doubt. You and the princess step.
Okay. And... Okay, chapter 2.
A warning before you go any further.
She will lie, she will cheat. Stop saying die, use a different word. I know, that's how I feel about the narrator.
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you.
Okay, we take the blade, right? Yeah, with the knife. Into the basement with the knife.
You take the blade from the altar. The door to the basement, her fierce voice.
Is that another...
This isn't what good. Sounds like...
Okay. Now we get the fuck out. I don't know what happened to you since the last time we met, but I am not fighting a giant demon lady. Bye!
Oh, you've got another thing coming if you think you can just turn around and leave.
As you step towards the stairs, you hear the heavy creak of straining metal. And then a snap. She's loose. You have to make a decision, and you have to make it fast.
Run like hell.
You do your best to scramble up the stairs before the princess can reach you. You coward!
Sorry, stubborn.
You practically feel her steamy breath on the back of your neck, but you manage, just barely, to throw yourself over the threshold and slam the heavy stone doors behind you.
Ow.
You're safe, if only for a moment.
Yeah.
Do you think this door is enough to hold me?
No.
You're not getting out of this. I don't care how many things I have to break. I'm getting the fight I want.
The entire cabin shakes as the princess throws herself against the basement door. It's huge and made of stone. We're fine, right? Of course we are. Any second now she's gonna break through that entryway. And we're finally going to get to do what we came here to do. Another impact shakes the cabin.
Oh, shit.
A massive gash splitting its way up the stone doors. She comes.
Oh.
The doors explode outwards, shards of stone clattering against the walls as the princess emerges from the basement.
Stop running.
We're doomed. In a fit of violence, the princess explodes across the room and closes the gap between you. You do your best to defend yourself from her onslaught, but you're sorely outmatched. For every wound you inflict on her, she inflicts 2 on you until, finally, you're no longer able to so much as stand. Your body is giving out.
Giving out? No, nobody's giving out. We're just getting started.
Don't be delusional, it's over. You fall to your knees.
Is that it? You're supposed to be tougher than this. Come on, get up. Keep fighting me.
No, this isn't right. Listen to me. Listen to her. We can do this.
We can't.
Why won't you get up?
She kicks you in the chest, splinters from your shattered ribs stabbing into your heart and lungs. Your vision starts to swim. Finally, her face, twisted into an expression of disappointment and fury, fades. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Okay, cool. We got the eye of the needle. That's what we needed.
You're on a path in the wood.
If you weren't so damned afraid of what she'd do to you, we wouldn't have died back there.
Fear is good. Fear
Okay,
keeps us alive.
we're back with Stubborn and Hunted.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the interior of the cabin is...
Lure her outside. I don't know. I'll save here first.
We can try to survive without our steel claw, but you've marked us as easy prey. You step forward and approach the... You reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the floor as it reveals the dim path ahead. Before you is what may as well be a sheer cliff face.
Right, this is the one with the cliff face. You want to fight? How about you come get one?
That's not how this works. I'm all chained up, remember? How about you come down here and fight me?
Those chains were nothing to her last time, and they'll be nothing to her this time. But we need to show ourselves first to make her boil over. Fine by me. You've nowhere to go but down. You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself.
Do you need me to break those fragile bones again to remind you how serious this is?
She's bubbling, hot with rage. We can't get close if we want to live. But we'll be able to draw her out of here. She's hungry for us. I know I said this earlier. We know the only way out. And we're going. We'll need the steel claw. Bloody desire in her eyes, the princess rushes forward, ignoring... Run. Without hesitation, you turn back the way you...
Big
Without
blade.
missing a step, you grab the blade from the altar.
Because the last time we didn't grab it, she stabbed us in the back.
So you do want to fight me? Good.
We're almost there. Don't think about almost. We're there when we're there. And we'll take the fight with us. Your skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door and roll onto the grass. You glance back at the cabin as the
Holy
princess,
shit.
singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. You are walking a dangerous path. If you waver once, it's all over. So get it right.
There's nothing left to slow me down. Do you think this is better for you? Do you think this space gives you an edge? Then show me!
Show me that you've been worth all the room you've taken up in my head.
Do it. Be swift, strike true, be where she's not. Let your body move you.
You've fallen right into my trap.
Oh, we'll see about that. Traps aren't real. The only thing that's real is bloodshed.
She charges, fully determined to end you in a single move. Left, now! As the princess strikes, your body swerves to the left. She overextends, stumbling as her balance shifts unexpectedly. Strike. Before you can finish the thought, you lash out, the blade slicing through her leg. She turns to swing again. Right. You move out of the way, but this time it's not quite as clean. You can feel a bruise already blooming where her elbow crashed into flesh. It's nothing. A scratch. Yes, it could be worse. And you manage to gift her another cut in return. I'll be damned.
We're actually gonna pull this off, aren't we?
You just might. But don't let it get to your head. Not until it's over.
Interesting. Normally, every other time she leaves the cabin, it ends. Like, it stops. I'm very surprised that it hasn't stopped.
Yes, finally! This is the hole I felt in my heart. This is what I've needed. This is what I've been missing. This is how it always needed to end. Both of us giving it our all, beating and bleeding each other to death.
The two of you engage in a devastating flurry of blows, each of you wounding the other again and again. She's stronger, but you're faster, and the deeper the both of you fall into your lethal dance, the more your edge shines over hers. She's slowing down, blood pouring from wounds, splattering at her feet, leaving her weak and unsteady.
I wonder if it's because she's focused on you and not on escaping. That's a good point.
More! Keep going! We can't stop now! You spy an opening, but this time she's waiting for you.
Oh.
She lets you sink the blade deep, trapping you in place long enough to wrap you in her impenetrable arms. You're slammed to the ground. Nothing! These blows are nothing to us! But her gambit wasn't enough to close the gap. It wasn't enough to kill you. She stares you down, coughing up a splash of blood as she gasps for breath.
Yeah, there's the quiet. There's the long quiet.
You've outplayed me, haven't you? Something feels wrong. Something.
And?
Oh, and what happens? Sorry? A wide open field. Lure an enemy to an advantageous terrain and win. Yeah. In close quarters combat, there was no way to win against her. That should also getting us the blind leading the blind. Lure the eye of the needle outside and point out that she's free? See, this is where I'm wondering if I like, I may need to do two different ones. We'll see.
She's gone.
I'm begging you. It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
That thing reeks of death.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
This doesn't feel thing weeks.
Screw the mirror.
Oh. It's you. I wonder if the other one will pop after we talk to the long quiet, or if I have to do adversary again.
Something fine. Yes. Nerves. This one yearns to grow and struggle. Even now I feel a will pushing against mine, not realizing that we are one. She will make for a fierce heart. Nothing as she asks that I
No, okay. So I actually do need to go back. Interesting. Thankfully, we had saved right here.
You take the blade from the altar.
Oh, no, I didn't mean
It will
to
be
do that.
difficult to slay the prince.
We went in without.
We can try to survive without our steel. You reach forward and drag your hand across.
You know you can get out of there on your own.
But that wouldn't be fun. I don't want to be a monster chasing you down. I want to face you head on. I want an equal. It's so much better that way.
We need to get closer. She needs to see us to give chase. You've nowhere to go but down. Without missing a step, you grab.
Okay. Are you sure you want to do this? You're free now and out here. I have the upper hand, but we don't have to fight.
The princess scoffs.
Free? This is just another place. This is just... What is this? Where are we? This doesn't feel right. It's cold.
Oh, you were
Why
right.
is it so cold?
You were right. As soon as she stops focusing on us and starts focusing on the idea of her surroundings, that's when it creeps in. So you're right. It's because she was focused on the hero. That was a really good call. Because yeah, as soon as you point out that it's her, like her surroundings, that she's free of the cabin, it immediately claims her.
I feel so tired.
Interesting. The blind leading the blind. Free someone who doesn't want to be freed. It was the only thing I could think of that was different. That's really perceptive. Done with the adversary route. Let's go. So it was not 2-in-1 on that one. Adversary is done. Beast is done. Damsel is done. Nightmare is done. Prisoner is done. Razor is done. Next is Spectre. Okay, and I'm gonna have to do two different... I'm gonna have to reload saves for this as well.
She's gone. There's something dreadful. I'm begging you, don't. It's different now.
I never feel right ignoring the hero.
Nothing. She asked.
Hey. Spectre, Spectre. Okay, chapter 1 is the same for both. That's good. Chapter 2 is where it differs.
You make your way up.
I forget who's with us in the Spectre. She doesn't have many routes.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare.
Razor has the
air
least.
is stale.
Take the blade. One, take. Okie doke. We're still on chapter 1. Sorry, I just unpaused, but I was gone for like 10 to 15 minutes. I think. I don't know. What is time? Okay. Take the knife.
You take the blade from the table. door to the...
Interesting. Okay.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You step forward. Your grip...
Oh? No talking then?
You lunge forward without...
Of course she is.
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you...
Oh, one of these days we'll sink in. Got it.
You open the cabin door.
Yeah, this
Only-
is just the... bullshit.
What's done is done.
Oh,
I
well.
do, but you're... Thank you.
Okay, Inspector. Cool. I was like, really? But I guess it's if we just accept his present.
A warning.
The cold. That's who we have with the Spectre.
The interior of the cabin is cold. A soft odor of...
Okay. Does not say what or what not to do. But in
You
terms
take
of
the blade from the
in terms of
table.
knife.
The door to the basement, the room below. Nobody's here. As much as I appreciate... I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend... Okay. It's just like... Before you have a chance to... Too deep set. And finally... The... Oh. Wow.
Oh, it's you. Hyatt?
The
I like
princess
the
drifts
Spectre.
across
She's
the
cute.
room into your orbit, gently running her fingers. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet...
Wait, see how things play out. I don't think we could even really kill her because she's a ghost. Or you know.
I see you brought that annoying knife again. So, are you waiting for a chance to use it? Or are you here for something else?
Who wanted you dead tricked me, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Team up.
Okay. I didn't want to be open to the idea, but there's no denying it now. You've clearly been here before. Oh. What tipped you off? Was it the corpse? Doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that nobody tricked you.
Oh yeah,
I've done nothing but give you wholly accurate information, and I'm sure whatever version of me you met in whatever other world you came from gave you accurate information as well.
absolutely not.
And how do you know that? Because any other me you've met is still me. And I haven't tricked you, nor do I have any desire to trick you in the future. And clearly you decided to heed most of the warnings I gave you. Otherwise you never would have mostly slayed her. But we did slay her. Yes, fine, you did slay her, but clearly part of her is still unslayed. There's no point wasting time bickering over semantics. The fact that you apparently botched the landing isn't on the me you're talking to, nor is it on any other version of me that you've encountered. You're using a lot of words to say a lot of nothing.
The enemy of my enemy.
The princess circles you again, her icy fingertips trailing up your spine, sending shivers rippling across your flesh.
I don't want enemies. I don't want to fight. I just want to go home. Is that really so much to ask?
And just where is home, I wonder?
I don't know where home is. I just know.
Yeah, I died too, and I'm not floating around like you are. What happened?
You don't look dead, killer.
The princess grabs your wrist, a sudden shock of cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And you don't feel dead either.
She lets go and pulls away. Your fingertips tingle painfully as the chill subsides.
I'm less interested in why you are, or how you are, and a lot more interested in what you are. I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here. I just want to go home. I'm so cold and alone here. But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you owe me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can...
I think I'm fine here, but
The princess swims through the air in...
Yep.
Isn't that an interesting idea? I hadn't even considered it as an option. Slaying her would slay you. Are you sure you're willing to do that? Of course we're sure. The decision has already been made. All right then. Better this than ferrying her out of here.
What do you think you're doing?
Hear that? She's scared. No point wasting more time. Do it. You lift the blade, then plunge it deep into your guts. Pain spreads quickly through your torso as you attempt to turn its edge up towards your heart.
Ugh.
No!
The princess, her spirit bound to your prison of flesh as she had once been bound to the basement's prison of stone, cries out in agony as you slice through organ and muscle. Your skin roils and bucks as she violently pushes against it from the inside. Bits of her seep through, white and glowing with ethereal light, but still the walls of your prison hold.
Is this really what you wanted? Do you hate me so much that you would kill yourself just to deny me freedom?
Oh, did you hear him? Yeah, my uncle. The glue is super duper old, like I thought it was, but it was worth a shot. So, he's gonna go get some dinner, which I completely understand, and then buy some glue to come back.
Yes, he would, because he knows what's at stake, and he knows what will happen if you leave this place.
Oh, you didn't hear him. Okay, because he waved. I didn't know if he said anything. Yes, that was what the pause was about.
I'm not so sure about all of that.
This music, pick it up, freaking steam here.
Don't be modest. You're a hero.
Do you think I'm just going to stick around while you die? Hell no, I'm leaving.
You can try if you want, but I think this is an end for all of us.
Let me out, let me out, let me out!
The princess's form continues struggling to pull itself out of you, but the effort is in vain. You collapse to your knees. Your vision blurs, then starts to fade.
The Exorcist, take on his spirit and destroy it the only way you can.
And then what happens?
I think he's gone. Just like everything else.
Are we dead?
I don't know. I don't think so. This is different than it was last time.
Oh. As the voices in your head debate amongst themselves, the form of the princess crawls from your body and into the vast nothing surrounding you.
Do you think we're done? Do you?
Hey. The answer's no.
I see. So that's how it's going to be. That makes me sad. I guess we'll have to fight then.
The princess passes through you, a chill rippling along your skin, a disappointed sigh echoing in your ears. You turn and face her as she hovers between you and the stairs. Spectral tears streak down her cheeks as she places a translucent hand on your chest. It feels cold, but otherwise like nothing at all. Are we doing the right thing? Why do I feel so sad?
Don't let her get to you. It doesn't matter. Somehow, soon, this too will be over, and we'll move on to something new. I feel like you all keep forgetting that.
Her dark-rimmed eyes fall to the floor as she speaks.
I never wanted to have to hurt anybody. It's not who I wanted to be.
The tears on her cheeks vanish. She lifts her head, sorrow replaced with wrath, staring into you with fiery anger.
But I guess you've turned me into something worse.
She forces her hand into your chest, and then...
Yes?
nothing happens.
Are you sure about that? Something should have happened. And yet it didn't. We're fine.
Did you miss?
No.
You can't be sure if you first hear or feel what happens next, but it is over before you can fully conceptualize what it is. The horrific splintering, the squelching of organs, the rending of tissue, an icy, numbing pain.
I'm done asking. The next time I see you, I'm taking everything I owed. Starting with your body. If you won't choose to give me my freedom, I'll just have to make you give it to me.
She's real now. If she's making us dead, we should return the favor.
I don't know if this actually makes a fucking difference.
You swing your blade towards her briefly corporeal throat. It connects. A gash widens across her neck, glowing ectoplasm leaking from the wound. But it's too little, too late. In her hand, you realize she clutches your still beating heart.
Heart Ripper,
It
there
thumps
are
unsettlingly.
worse fates to suffer than a broken heart. That is the end of the Spectre.
Did we get her? Even if we didn't, we've given her something to remember.
See you soon, killer.
I'm afraid you'll never know. As she crushes your precious organ in her hand, everything goes dark, and you die.
Oh, this is another way to get the wraith, huh?
You're on a path in the wood, and here we go again. Off to slay her. Again.
That's interesting. So you can get the wraith along the Spectre route as well as the Nightmare. That's interesting. last one or two?
You make your way up the shore. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust.
Sorry, without the knife. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have to save it chapter 2 and reload from there.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by
And lie to the princess. Okay.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me?
You're only making this more difficult.
Okay.
You make your way to the bottom. Without hesitation, you bring the blade. Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you seize. We can still. You steal. Excuse me. Do you think this? Can you not feel all? The two of you enter one last. You collapse on the ground.
After all,
Silence. You've paid a terrible price.
if you think this is it.
But you don't have time to worry over such things.
Which, cool. Just wanted to make sure we were getting on the correct route.
You're on a path in the woods. A warning. The interior of the cabin is a... You take the blade from the shelf.
If you're just in case, but I don't think I need this one. We're just gonna be very careful though.
The door to the basement.
Hello.
I recognize that voice as...
Give her the blade.
You... Now, hold on. As do I. You... You're going to get everyone killed. You know you toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before...
I wouldn't have done that.
You hear a clanging of She could have got a woman after. Luckily for us. Oh, we sure think... She creeps forward, taking...
What do you think happens now?
Okay. If you're like someone I know, you're probably going to kill me.
Oh, hey, that someone is me. And yes, you're right. That is exactly what I would do. Her shoulders tense and her eyes dart away.
You know me too well.
The princess grits her teeth, and her cunning gaze once again meets yours. And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No. No, come on, that's not right. I told you this is what she was going to do. Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it. I got you. You...
Okay. Proceed to the cabin.
It isn't long before you find the interior of the cabin. You step forward. You reach forward and you step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are...
This is new territory here. Like newer. I want to free you. I mean it.
I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave. So, come down and talk. It's not like I can stop you.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past the smooth edges of thorns that grow more and more plentiful as you make your way forward. You step out into what was once a vast open cavern, now overrun by briars and prickles and thistles, the space thick with hostile vegetation.
I'm not here to laugh. I'm here to free you if you'll let me.
I want to trust you.
Her grip tightens on the blade.
But you're hiding something, aren't you? Why would you help me if you weren't helping yourself?
You're not the only one who yearns for freedom. I'm as trapped as you are, and I think we need to be together.
The princess clutches the blade closer to her chest.
That sounds nice. I'm so tired of the bad blood between us. But it's hard to let it go. You've hurt me.
Her eyes dart away from yours for a brief moment.
And I've also hurt you.
Is there nothing I can say to change your mind?
I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
She's right, there's nothing left to say. So let's get a move on and do something before she comes up with a scheme to get out of here on her own. Careful with that one. He's not the smooth negotiator he thinks he is. But it does feel like we're stuck until we do something. If there's even anything to do besides make things worse. We're not making things worse. I think she wants to trust us.
I am afraid of this decision. Can I take the blade now?
Her eyes briefly meet yours, then dart back to the floor. She hangs her head in resignation.
Okay.
Blade.
You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers. For a moment, she clutches it even tighter, her knuckles going white with the effort. But then the tension fades. Her grip finally loosens and she allows you to take the weapon. You carefully pull it free from the thorns, though they scrape at your skin, leaving red trickles of fresh blood all along your arms.
I'll be damned. She really gave it to us.
It feels like it's been so long since we've held real power in our hands. I wonder what we should do with it. We free her, obviously. It's the right thing to do.
I think you're right. She's as much a victim in all of this as we've been. Besides, it would really stick it to him to free her.
I like how her crown here is made of thorns. We didn't really get to see it last time. We saw that beautiful drawing, actually, of her swallowing the dagger. It was actually a very gorgeous piece of art, but...
Or, hear me out. We slay her. Right here, right now. She's never been so helpless, and if we don't take advantage of that, we may never get another chance.
That sounds like a splendid idea. You should listen to him.
We've all said our piece. Now it's time to make our move.
It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against 2. You don't count. And why shouldn't he count?
Because he's clearly not one of us. That doesn't matter. He's been with us the whole time. He should get a say.
So, did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
cut her free.
Yes, what a good idea. Let's cut her free. Oh, so you're suddenly team free her? You can't just switch sides as soon as we make a decision. I can do whatever I want, and I believe with my whole heart that this is the right course of action. Let's free this princess. Even if he'll stick a knife in our back as soon as he has the opportunity, it's still better to have him nominally on our side. At least that gets him to shut up for a while. See? We're all friends here, united in our actions and intentions. Yeah, united. But the other one has a point. If it keeps you quiet, sure, we're all friends. You take the blade to the thorny vines imprisoning the princess, and she flinches, relaxing only slightly as the blade slices into the thick vegetation rather than her arm. And she flinches again as the last of the vines is cut away, as if, after all of that, she's still expecting you to turn on her and stab her in the heart. But you're not going to do that, are you? Still, all it would take is a single slip of the blade. Is that really all you've got, threatening us with an accidental misstep? I expected more from you. Our blade didn't even waver when he said that. Yeah, you're right, he's a bit of a nobody, isn't he? Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning. The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I hate you.
You actually meant it. You rescued me.
Of course I did.
She smiles, her hand slipping into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stairs. Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so graciously allowed you downstairs are now blocking your only way out. You're getting desperate, aren't you? Even more proof that you can't actually do anything to stop us. We cut through those other vines just fine, they're only thorns. I'm not afraid of getting a few scrapes. I'm not even sure we need to do any cutting, we can just move them out of the way. What a pathetic showing, really.
A few pointy sticks can't keep us down here. We're both meant for so much more than this.
Ooh. I'm just curious. I'm playing it so safe right now. I'm curious. Step into the thorns.
As you step into the thorns covering the basement stairs, they yield.
That's awesome.
Both you and the princess ascend the stairs without obstacle. This is unacceptable. The second you step out of this cabin with her, the world ends. Do you hear me? What did the world ever do to you to deserve this? It feels so good to hear you say that you're admitting you've lost and we've bested you at your own game at last. I don't care what happens now. That's all I've wanted. You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your last chance. We've already made our decision.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
Step into your freedom. Running over
Hands
a new leaf.
clasped,
Aww.
the two of you open the door and step out into a new day. You irredeemable murderers.
To like work through some trust issues, or work through some issues and learn to trust again. Also, shut up, narrator. That's aw. This is actually really cute.
What do we do now? Where's everything going? Why is it so cold?
Okay, now for the last Chivo. The Thorn and the Prisoner. Yeah, I was gonna ask what everybody's favorites were. So, now we reload here. And we say, you're beautiful. I want to actually save you, and this feels like the only way to do it.
She pulls back, clearly caught off guard by whatever nonsense you just said to her. I thought it was nice. Whether it's nice depends on if we meant it. We didn't mean it. Did we? If you were lying, we'd all know. But unfortunately, you weren't lying.
What? What do you mean by that? What kind of game are you playing?
The look of surprise that momentarily softened her features vanishes as she steels her nerves. And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No, come on, that's not right. I told you. I told you not to give her the blade. I told you it would come around to bite us. I voted against it. Yeah, we know. You already got your I told you so's in while we were bleeding out. I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows that I was and am on the right side of that argument. Oh, you're far from being on the right side of anything. You're fixated on the past, whereas what you should be is fixated on the future. Ho ho, a visionary. I like it. Tell me more. Gladly, my dear fellow. By cruelly turning on the princess in her moment of vulnerability, we made ourselves an enemy. But by mastering our fear and insecurity and handing over our power, we've begun a journey to something so much deeper.
It is the lad.
I like journeys. Travelling is a bit of a passion of mine. It makes me so relatable. Now, where are we off to? Well, if we're lucky, it's a journey to love.
I was gonna say, he's actually doing okay, and then he finally, yeah, there it is. Like, he was actually doing okay. It was like, oh, the smitten, like, actually got deep there for a minute. Nope, there he is.
She hates us. Does she? She hesitated before stabbing us to death. As ridiculous as this guy is, maybe he has a point. I don't know if I necessarily buy into his whole love journey thing, but maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this time. We've already proven to her that we can change, so maybe she'll realise that things don't have to end in violence. You know, maybe you're right. In which case, I suppose the only thing to do is to get back to the cabin and give it another try. Give what another try exactly? You are aware I've been listening to you, right?
Makes no difference if we conspire in the shadows or bear our intentions with open hearts. We are breaking her cruel cycle and whisking her away to freedom.
Oh, are you now? Great, so you've obviously been here twice, actually. Sure. It isn't long before you find... The interior of the cabin is hardly an interior, unless her heart tells her to stab us, which doesn't seem unlikely, so yes, I agree. Let's make sure we get on her good side.
Sorry, what did the lad say? If she does have it, that's all the more reason to put our faith in her. We've already shown her our heart. Now she has to show us hers. He's actually, right now, he's being more like... It's fucking gross. He's being more like reserved than on the damsel route.
You step forward. You know what you have to do. Wipe away the grit from the mirror, and behold our handsome features. You reach forward, and alas, our fine features remain unseen. We'll just have to trust that she'll find us beautiful as we are. Well, seems like the only way to go is forward, isn't it? Yes, that's where everything tends to be. You step through the frame of scorched wood, the stairs to the base of their spine. These thorns are an expression of her pain. I know it. She's calling out for help. Her voice, worn down by...
I can't get away from you. I don't know why you let me do that.
I want to free you.
I think you know how this...
You continue down the basement stairs. You step out into what was at the heart of it all. In case...
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh?
Not here to laugh, I'm here to free you. You'll let me? Let's... Again.
I want to trust you.
The princess clutches the blade closer to her chest.
I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
We don't need words to send a message. It is through action that we can show her our adoration, our devotion, our kindness. let's save before we take any action here, bud. I've been curious about this.
You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers. For a moment, she clutches it even tighter, but then the tension fades. You carefully pull it free from the thorn. She trusts us. She trusts us. Doesn't that set your heart aflutter? Yeah, a little. It could just be nerves. Being this close to her does bring back unpleasant memories, but I don't know, it doesn't feel bad. It feels good. Like we're special to her. We are special to have gained an ounce of trust from a maiden so guarded. Now all that remains is to free her from her bindings. Yeah, let's do it. Let's show her how much both of us have changed. Or, hear me out. That sounds like a splendid... I see that the lines have been drawn. It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against you, and why should... Because he's clean. Doesn't matter. He's been with us.
So, did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
Yes, what a good idea. Oh, so I can do whatever Everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Let him join us and be merry. We are all united by our passion. That's right, what he said. We've already given him a chance at redemption. And who says I don't deserve another? I really mean it this time. I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong. So I want to help you all free her. And I have no problem with that. Welcome to the team. You're one of us now. One of the good guys. You take the blade to the thorny and she flinches again. Such a pathetic attempt at distraction and subterfuge. Our blade is a dashing sword, and every dashing sword is an extension of its hero. It won't slip. You're right. He can't even make it slip, can he? He's a bit of a nobody. Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning. The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I hate you.
Aha.
You actually meant it. You rescued me.
Do you see the way she's looking at us? Kiss her. Kiss her now before the moment ends.
And that's actually what we're doing.
Can we actually do that? No, you can't. Absolutely not.
Oh, please tell me the narrator suffers.
You know as well as I do that we can. And we wouldn't want to throw away a chance for a special moment, now would we?
I mean, she is us and our wife. Like...
If I were only capable of throwing myself off a bridge.
I wish you were.
Well, are you going to describe our steamy, romantic kiss?
The smitten is getting one over on the narrator. I can't believe this.
You lean in and you kiss her. And she reciprocates enthusiastically. You kiss. It's done. Are you happy now?
No.
Come on now, this is the big moment. You can do better than that.
Yes! I had a feeling because this achievement is called True Love's Kiss. I was saving it for last.
Ugh, fine. You and the princess lock eyes and stare deep into each other's souls with all the roaring emotion that comes from letting what once was hatred turn into pure, unbridled passion.
Come on, enemies to lovers can be a very good trope when you do it correctly.
Are you making fun of us? And then each of you close your eyes and kiss. Words can describe neither the nuclear fire nor the oceanic depth of your connection.
Let's go!
Please. I think he actually likes romance. If history itself were not about to end, historians would document this moment for the rest of time. Musicians would write era-defining ballads, and great artists would expend entire lifetimes trying to merely capture the spark you hold right now.
Wait, is that some, like, is he trying to reference The Princess Bride?
He's making fun of us.
Yeah, he is, but I think he's also trying to poorly reference The Princess Bride.
It doesn't matter either way, because this is good stuff.
Agreed.
I'm aware of my skills. But unfortunately for you, the moment doesn't last forever. You open your eyes, the princess smiles gently up at you. Time for you to damn the whole world to oblivion, I suppose.
True Love's Kiss. Kiss her.
That was nice.
Hell yeah, it is.
Her hand slips into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stairs.
Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so... Please, after all the trials we've been through, do you really think a few measly thorns can stop us? Love is an even more powerful weapon than our blade.
This is the most emotionally brutal thing I've ever experienced.
We cut through those other vines just fine. I'm not even sure we need to do any...
A few pointy sticks can't.
Step into them.
As you step into the thorns covering
at
the
her
basement
smile.
stairs, they yield.
Both you and the princess... Your nightmare is our dream. Whatever world would condemn star-crossed lovers like us to a cycle of violence and despair isn't a world worth saving. We'll weave something new together. Something better.
Fucking look at the smitten on this route. He's doing pretty good for himself. Besides his usual like, oh my love, he's actually stating facts.
You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your last chance.
We've already made our decision.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
Yeah, the smitten actually getting some metal lines here too, yeah. I guess I could have done those together, but I didn't know.
The two of you open the door and step out into a new day, you irredeemable murderers.
Yay!
What do we do now? Where's everything going? Why is it so cold?
And that was achievement 97 out of 97. So I have a good backdrop sound to talk over. My thoughts on Slay the Princess. This was masterfully written. I cannot even imagine all of the time that it took to write all of these different routes, all of these different possibilities. The bits of dialogue in between. Like, holy shit. That was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. And like every death felt different. Like it wasn't just like, oh, you died. Oh, you died. It was like, the fact that they went like this is kind of one of those, I'm not a big fan of like gratuitous gore, but I do think there are times when it is absolutely necessary. Although I have my problems with the Song of Ice and Fire, especially with the way Martin is treating his fans. I would say the Red Wedding is one of them, is a good example of it. But I would say overall, as like a way better example, as an author and as just anything that they write, Cormac McCarthy. Anything Cormac McCarthy writes, he's not overly violent to be overly violent. He is showing you what happens in those settings, like Blood Meridian, for example. That's not pages upon pages upon pages of violence just to be violent. It is to illustrate the actual time period and deconstruct the myth of the cowboy. Kind of that over-romanticized myth of the cowboy. And it was to be like, no, this is what actually happened. These were real people in history, and this is what actually happened with these people in history. So to that end, I think that the description of the deaths here, while it involved me making, my bleh noises and looking away and like wincing and like cringing and everything, because I promise you none of that was fake. At the decapitation, I did actually take my headphones off. It served the purpose to make each death feel very personal to you. like you, the player, and the impact it had on the hero and the Long Quiet and the princess. So I think this is a media where the gore and kind of it's not like super heavy, but just definitely like the very descriptive way and the very detailed artwork, like beautiful artwork, by the way. This game's art is fantastic, and holy shit, like, wow. Like, just all of that was necessary to show and make it feel personal, because in gaming, and this is especially hard to do in horror, by the way, horror games, you always want to have a good balance of the fear of death without becoming desensitized to it. Because when you become desensitized to death in a horror game, that's when it loses its whole edge as horror. Because you are no longer afraid of what can kill you. You are no longer afraid of what lurks in the shadows. You need to have your player on edge about dying. And so they need, but they need to be afraid to die. They have to realize that there's danger. You can't just like have, you know, like a haunted house on rails simulator and not just not have any danger. Sorry, it's been a long day. But yeah, you have to actually have an element of danger, but you cannot have the player die too much either. You cannot be unnecessarily cruel. In games like Dark Souls, it's not horror, you know, like it's not a horror game, so that's fine. The whole point is to die and learn from your mistakes and retry. But in horror, you really need to balance that, and it's a very hard tightrope to balance. And this is a game that centers around death as a concept. So for them to take that and spin it so that you still don't become desensitized to death, that's very masterful. It's very, very, very masterful. I liked all of the different routes, and then the routes within routes. Like, I didn't realize that, you know, within the Nightmare and the Spectre, you could also get the Wraith. You know, like, there are vessels and vessels and vessels. Like, there's not just the Witch, there's the Thorn, there's not just the Adversary, there's the Fury. You know, like, there's so many. So I'm very impressed by the scope of this. And I can't remember what routes there were, but I know there were a couple of routes that fans and the creators thought were, like, because it was pretty much the creators being like, we think, like, they were like, oh, we wish we had more time for this, but we're okay with it as is. But if we get the chance, we'd like to work on it. And they saw what the fans thought, and when they saw it was kind of unanimous that the fans kind of agreed, that they were like, oh, we wish these routes were fleshed out a little more because there wasn't much. They were like, okay, cool. Like, we're gonna expound on those a little bit more. And I don't know what new things they're gonna do. I do know, like I'd mentioned before, I know that one of the alters in the demo is the Obsessed, and he did not make it to the final game. And I actually really want to see what the Obsessed is like. I did not play the demo. I went into this completely blind. I'd never seen a Let's Play or anything. So I would very much like this kind of obsessive personality. I'm just very curious as to what that might be. I think kind of a darker personality would be interesting. Like a darker alter. So I am interested for what the Pristine Cut holds. So yeah, I enjoyed this. It was absolutely a purchase worth making. I bought it because it intrigued me. I saw that people were checking it out, and I looked into it, and I'm like, this is a concept that's very interesting to me. Okay. So I bought it. Like, after it came out, not long after it came out, honestly. And I was like, I'm gonna wait for this to kind of blow over and play it myself. And then, you know, when I was kind of looking through all of my spooky games, I was like, why not Slay the Princess? I was like, I told myself I would play it. This seems like a good time. So I know it's not like outward, you know, like the kind of traditional horror, but I think it was very interesting. I wouldn't say it's one of like my super favorite games in the whole world, but I do think that it is very, very, very good. I think it's good. I would recommend it to people. For sure. If people ask me, should I play Slay the Princess, I'm definitely gonna say absolutely buy it. I'm not even gonna say buy it on sale. I will just say straight up buy it. It is worth the money that you pay for it. Especially because the Pristine Cut is going to be free. You don't need to pay for that. That's just a free update. And it is normally $17.99 for the regular game. Okay, I played it. I'm not one of those people that's like, I need an hour for every amount of dollar. You're like, for every dollar amount I played. But I'm just saying, I spent 21 hours on this. Like, I'm really curious as to what the route tree looked like, because some kind of crossed over into the others. So this was a very cool experience. I enjoyed myself quite a bit here. I still wish I knew what the fuck was going on with that mirror, but maybe that's something that we are going to get in the Pristine Cut. Maybe we'll understand the mirror a little more. My favorite ending of like the 5 main ones was definitely the first one that I got, where you just accept the Shifting Mound's offer and like kind of break into the multiverse. Because I think it's very beautiful that like in the end, this one entity was separated into 2 gods, and they are able to go into the multiverse for better and worse. And create change in the world, good and bad. I think that's a very beautiful ending. Although I do like the other quote-unquote good ending as well, where he's just the hero and she's just the princess. And they decide not to become gods and they just walk off together. But I just really like the idea of like these 2 gods that have been in conflict and against their will. You know, like coming together and overcoming this terrible fate that was set out for them both. That one is definitely my favorite ending. Besides the Smitten and his Zap Brannigan ass antics, I would have to say the Paranoid is probably my favorite altar. Although I do like the Contrarian and the Stubborn a lot. I have 2 theories about the mirror, though they contradict each other. Okay. Because, yeah, while you type that up, I don't know if I don't know if the narrator was lying or not when he said that he could or he could not see the mirror. There was evidence for both. And again, I don't really trust him when he's like, oh, my world is on its dying breath. Like, at this point, it's like he's a man who has nothing to lose, but at the same time, he's shown himself to be so untrustworthy. And like, I love unreliable narrators. But goddamn, dude. Anything that makes the narrator miserable makes me happy. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed this game. I do have the first game that this developer, Black Tabby Games came out with. Scarlet Hollow, I believe it's called. I have that, so I will eventually play that, and anything else they come out with, I will definitely end up getting. This is published by Serenity Forge, who's published a lot of solid-ass games. One second. Theory 1, the mirror is representation of the construct itself. The narrator is aware of it, but can't see it because it's what he uses to watch and narrate you. You're becoming aware of it because it really is starting to, because reality is starting to slip. Okay. That's theory 1. And then the second contradicting theory. Waiting for. But yeah, Serenity Forge has also put out games, off the top of my head, the Lisa series, which I very much love. Holy shit. That is a dark, fantastic-ass series. Very good. They published the Lisa series. They published Doki Doki Literature Club, Needy Streamer Overload. Fuck. They've published a lot of like really good games. Serenity, well, especially with Annapurna, unfortunately out now. Serenity Forge is one that, like, Serenity Forge and Raw Fury are two that I'm like, okay, if I'm getting something from you guys, I'm gonna have a good time. Theory number 2, the mirror is you. The princess describes herself dragging her hands across the glass surface of your soul. And she describes your altars as shards of broken glass, and you hear glass shattering every time she deals you a final death. Is that why the altars are so... Theory 2 would explain more of why they're afraid of it. Why your altars are afraid of it. Because they're afraid to... because, like, they disappear whenever you get near the mirror, and the idea of if these are altars and this is a case of some kind of DID, I'm not going to definitively say it's DID or not, but the idea in therapy of treating DID is to have the altars reconcile with the original self. So it would kind of be, you know, them approaching it would be terrifying for everybody on a level, because even the hero is just a stand-in. So that's why he's afraid of it, and then his altars are also afraid. Our altars are also afraid, you know, us as the player. These different altars. I think I like Theory 2 better. The mirror is you. One of them did put forth the idea that the shifting mound is controlling the mirror as well, and that could also play into Theory 2, that she keeps kind of pulling up who you are. Very interesting. We'll have to see if the Pristine Cut explores the mirror a little bit more. But I think Theory 2 has a bit more oomph behind it. But yeah, I've been playing this for over 2 weeks now, because in the last 2 weeks I put in 17 hours, but I have 21.2 hours on record. So. But yeah, I can see why this got overwhelmingly positive reviews. Really good. I don't know if I would go crazy raving about it like I've seen other people do, but again, if somebody came up and was like, hey, I saw that you played Slay the Princess, should I get it? Or if somebody's like, oh, Slay the Princess, that looks interesting, I'd be like, oh, get it, it's very good. Absolutely get it, you're gonna have a great time. And I would just be like, do something, like, I'd be like, play it how you want to, and then go through a guide. Because you are doing yourself a disservice if you don't check out all the routes. I think that's... Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, and I'm interested to see what the Pristine Cut has to offer. I think I've said that at least 3 or 4 times now, but yeah. So, good game, absolutely. Yeah, this was fun. Beautiful soundtrack, beautiful artwork, really cool idea. Definitely body horror. Lots of body horror. Existential as well. So yeah, Black Tabby Games, that's a dev to keep an eye out for. The Pristine Cut is also getting a physical release with like a lot of swag, and I believe it's also coming out on PlayStation and Switch. Not sure about Xbox. But like physical copies are coming out for consoles, and that's kind of what has the physical swag. Num 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 body horror. Body horror is very, very good. I take it you're a Cronenberg fan then, Katie, because my god, that man does body horror like nobody's business. Jeff Goldblum's The Fly, holy shit. That is one of the most, to this day, that is the most gruesome body horror I've ever seen. Very good. But yeah, this was definitely existential. I would say existential kind of horror. I don't know about psychological. I would say existential horror and body horror. But yeah, I enjoyed this quite a bit, because in the end, there were no characters, honestly, there were no characters that were really right or really wrong. Among the princess, all of the different variants of her, among the narrator, all the different parts of him, the echo, the hero, and all of the altars, the long quiet, the shifting mound. No one was really right or wrong in the end. It was all about choice, and that's also very difficult to do without skewing it one way or another. It is really, honestly, how you feel about these characters. And I think that that's, again, a sign of talented writing, and just a lot of the descriptors were very, very good. I never felt like the writer pulled out a thesaurus on me, which is good. I didn't feel like there was an overabundance of purple prose. I didn't feel like someone had to go to thesaurus.com. Things felt very, like, to me, they flowed naturally. So, yeah. I think that's all I can say. I'm out of thoughts. So, next time, Absolov, End of Gods, a futuristic Norse horror game. I will finally be sticking to my branding for the first time in 4 years and actually playing something Nordic. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking this over 2-week journey with me on a visual novel. Like, those can be hard. Thankfully it was voiced, but like visual novels can be, you know, they can be difficult, especially if there's not a lot to do other than, you know, click and choose. So I really appreciate you guys hanging in and being invested and having a good time. It was very obvious that you guys had a good time. I don't need to ask. I know you guys had a good time, so I really appreciate it. So thanks so much, and I'll see you guys in the next game.